We are back
Locked
in
in.
action. She is second guessing herself already over here. She's a little nervous, and we like that.
Definitely never had a more nervous guest come on here.
Yeah, she is definitely second guessing all her decisions, but she's in the seat.
We had to sign a contract, NDA. We had anyway. We're gonna move forward.
But we have another special guest. We're going on the whole CEO woman train right now, and we have Angelica Reyes on the show today. She is a makeup mogul, but she has done very well for herself. She has a big following on Instagram, and she is a go-getter. I think a lot of our guests and the men won't mind looking at her. You know, they'll be okay. But I feel like the women will get a lot from her work ethic and how you started. So, well, I'm a little frazzled. I'm not gonna lie. I just lost a really bad bet on Monday Night Football. So I know you know nothing about that.
No.
But she is still so nervous, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Why are you so nervous over there? This is the awesome.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
This
about
is the one that's
questions
gonna
that
go
you're gonna ask
viral.
me.
Don't worry about them. All right, they're just gonna come hard and heavy and fast. So
Okay.
yeah.
So Angelica, welcome on the show. I've known you for how many years now? 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
You're like
Around
the little
there.
sister I never wanted.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're excited to have you on and tell us about how you started. Like how long you've been doing this for.
Wow, I've been doing this for now over 10 years, and it's been amazing. I first started out as a artist working for an academy that I used to attend. The academy didn't do so well, but I pursued my career in makeup, and I was offered a job at MAC Cosmetics, which I met a lot of my clients who are now still my clients. And then I started out my own.
So you're at Mac, right? And the whole objective, and you got to move your phone. Look at this. I mean, the aesthetics and the angle.
Yeah, that's and all sorts of stuff. There we
Can you
go.
get my cup too? Just right there. Yeah, we're just falling apart today.
There we go. Getting it together, folks.
We should have put vodka in that cup.
Stanley.
So you're at Mac. I've been there a couple times. Not because I wanted to go. I've been dragged in there a few times. And the whole objective is you give basically you try to sell them a product, right? So they sit
Yes.
down and be like, this looks beautiful on you. Oh, your lips look amazing. You just compliment them.
Yes.
And then you sell them on everything, right? So how many years were you at Mac?
It was about 4 years. I was like on and off. I had a kid in between. So took some time off, then went back. And then I was balancing my own clients and then running to work. I was always late.
No way.
So then eventually,
No way. You late? I was shocked the other day. So Angelica is habitually late, and we went to happy hour last week. Not like that. Relax, everyone. She's my sister.
Yeah.
But she was on time. And I was like, hey, can you
Nice.
be here in 5 minutes? And I was 15 minutes away, so she was waiting outside. I'm like, hell must have just frozen over. So, and then she carried the trend today. She's about 20 minutes late for the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so
Time is
okay,
money.
Back.
you're keep going.
so I left Mac, and then I started out my own business, and then I pursued that.
So wait, so explain that, because that's like a big step, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of did that, no big deal, nonchalantly, but that's a big step. I mean, from leaving Mac, how many customers or clients did you have that you thought would follow you? It didn't-
Probably all of them, only because I had a following on Instagram, and my Instagram had a lot of my clients just go into the Mac store just to see me. Then they saw this little thing. They're like, "Oh, I thought you were taller, a real person." But, so they came and they followed me when I left, and then word of mouth is huge, and it's like helped me tremendously as a entrepreneur in the art, as a makeup artist. So as I left, COVID hit eventually, and then I was second guessing even doing makeup anymore. But the moment we got back into wedding season again, I hit my first 6 figures as a makeup
On your own.
artist on my own.
Wow.
And this was just because of word of mouth. I think community and really showing people that you truly care for them is huge as an independent worker. Like, that doesn't go unnoticed.
And did Mac get pissed at you? Did they know what was going on? Did you have like, okay, I need to have like an exit strategy out of Mac, right? There was a point where like, I need to get out of here. Were they sensing?
I think that they knew, especially because I was always running into Mac
Late.
to close late.
Yeah,
and then they're like,
surprising.
you don't even want to be here. And it's not that I just felt like my clients outside of Mac were paying my bills. And Mac, was great. I built a lot of relationships, even with employees, but I really had to pick and choose. And
did you get a percentage when you're at Mac? You get a percentage of all the makeup you sell.
No.
What?
You don't get any
no,
kind of...
no.
Really?
Nothing.
So they just paid you hourly?
Maybe when I was
What?
at the
Wow.
Nordstrom Mac, but not the Mac store.
I can't
makes
believe that. I would have thought it would be based entirely on sales, the way that, Mac girls push, makeup. I would
Yeah.
think that was the main
No.
Wow.
They started getting a little cheaper
Yeah.
as years went on, but it's okay.
Well, no wonder you got the hell out. Yeah.
I learned a lot working with their lot of different faces, and it was a
And
good
so
experience.
are you primarily what percentage of weddings is your business?
90%.
Wow.
Because that's more lucrative because then you get all the bridesmaids.
Yeah, the
The
family.
bride, obviously, the
yes.
mom, yeah, so that's pretty intensive. Just sucks it's on weekends, right?
It doesn't actually.
Really?
I've grown accustomed to working every single weekend. Recently, I've actually stopped working in July. That's the month that my kids are out of school, and I was like, you know what? I want to work to where I don't have to work in July anymore, where it's just for my kids' vacation, and I'm able to do that now, which is so nice.
But isn't July a wedding season,
That
right?
is.
It's a lot
Not
of
No.
so hot. Well, not for me.
okay.
I know that I've had a few different brides in July, but the majority, not
September,
really.
October.
Yeah.
August, yeah.
It's really hot.
Yeah, that's true.
Sacramento, come on.
Wow. No, man, you're blowing my mind with a lot of these things you're throwing out there.
Whoa,
with,
whoa, calm down.
like I say, like I'm
Whoa.
still shocked about Mac not giving you anything for like selling stuff. But so you're in Mac obviously, and so like I say, you're building up this clientele. You're getting to know people. You're getting to know makeup. You're getting to know like the ins and outs and stuff like that. When you go out on your own, where are you getting your makeup from now? Because obviously Mac was where you had all this stuff coming from. So now,
I still continue to use MAC products. It's what I knew.
Yeah.
However, I still grew like outside of MAC, and I went to different master classes with different artists that were in the makeup game, and they would recommend a lot of different products out there. There's so many different products and useful products. So I use a majority of just a bunch of high-end products that work best for me and my brides.
And do you upsell, or do they say, "Hey, I really like this"? I don't want makeup. Like this blush or lipstick. They're like, "Oh, I really like this. How do I get it?"
Yeah, and I'll go and I actually do a lot of shopping for my brides and my clients.
And you just mark it up a little bit. Yeah.
One-on-one lessons. That's where that works and ties in.
So usually I assume too, weddings are typically happening on a Saturday or something like that. So you're there fairly early on. Your job is mostly done though. As soon as you put the makeup on them, you can walk away, right? You're not there to do touch up during the ceremony or anything like that, right?
Sometimes I average about 15 girls a day, like Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Those are like wedding week, days. But after like the weekend, I'll probably do about 30 to 5 girls.
Wow. And what do you charge, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what is?
I charge.
You're paying for a happy hour next time.
Yeah.
By the way, 35 girls. Why am I paying
I
for
know.
your shit?
Yeah, right?
Because you're such a nice brother.
Oh,
Right there. You go.
So the average that I charge per non-bride is $175, but they have to have 6 girls or more. And then my brides are about anywhere from $400 to $450, depending on travel fees.
Wait.
I have to wake up.
Hold on. You have 30 girls.
Yeah.
You're charging a minimum $175 a piece.
Yeah.
Wow, we should start doing makeup.
not a bad
Like that's a pretty good hustle. It's a good weekend.
It is. And it makes me want to go to work on the weekends.
Well,
I
I
have
would wanna
Monday,
go to work. Yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah.
Wednesday, Thursdays. I have, off sometimes. If I'm not, actually, I work in production too. So I do a lot of TV film during the week. Like this week I'll have about 15 guys that I'll do on Thursday, and it's just very light touch up.
Wait, what'd you just say?
Now we've just gone to a totally different
Now
subject.
you're really making a lot of money during the week.
No, you did bring up something that I was
Can't just over. She said she had 15 guys.
I mean, hey.
In one day.
These are
Wow, what are you
These
doing
are the
during?
I
questions.
assume you're only taking about 3 or 4 at a time, but anywho,
You really set yourself up for
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
15
did.
guys,
Yeah.
you're taking what? But what are you?
Yeah,
what
they're
are you
running
doing?
a train,
So-
so yeah.
So they're actually filming, and I'll
I'll
be
bet
there.
they are, yeah.
I'll be there to touch them up and powder them up.
I'm sure you
Their
will.
faces.
Yeah. No, it's funny because before we had talked, I did say that was one of the things that I had experienced, and I was a theater arts major. So for acting for plays, I remember the first time they're like, "Hey, yeah, so where's your makeup?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Most of us like are used to this. We put on our own makeup. I'm like, I don't know how to do any of that shit." But the funniest thing to me had to be the night after my first show of having makeup on. They were telling me like, "Yeah, you want some baby wipes?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'll go home and I'll just use a towel and get it off." Like, no, that doesn't work.
No.
You just use a little bit of water on there. I look like the Joker, like from like The Dark Knight. It was scary. But yeah, what kind of challenges do men present versus women? Like when you're doing makeup on guys, I assume you're not doing any lipstick or eyelashes or
No.
anything like that. But this is mostly for camera work, right?
This is for camera.
So what are you accenting? What are you working on there?
I'm working on shine forehead. I could have brought my stuff today for you guys, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
What the hell?
We should have done makeup.
I was ready.
So I
know.
texted you. Was it yesterday?
yesterday.
So this guy went out. We both went out. He had like 7 doubles and like
Double old fashioned.
in like 2 hours.
They were delicious.
And he's allergic to alcohol. So
It hurts.
every
Oh
time
my
he does
goodness.
that, so I hear at 6 a.m. and we had a podcast scheduled yesterday, and I just hear him. I'm waking up to him just. And when he throws up, he like blows
Yeah.
all his blood vessels in his face and
I
his
can
forehead.
As you
He
can
has
see.
allergic
No, that's
reaction.
nothing. No,
Yeah, this is not
Worse.
bad
he
comparatively. yeah.
just bright. He looks like a tomato on
Yeah.
steroids. And I text you. I'm like, hey, we might need some little touch up on
Yeah.
him.
So
But
yeah, no,
he-
that's a
he
great
looks
question.
good.
So if I'm someone like me, if I was going to be in a wedding today, what are you doing for me? Are you throwing on a ton of concealer? I mean, am I
No.
just going to look like a clown? What are we doing
Absolutely
here?
not. So I'm going to actually throw you in with a whole corrector on your face.
Okay.
No, I'm going to give you a nice cream that's going to settle what I use for rosacea. So I'll settle that into your
You
skin.
have rosacea?
I do
No,
have
but
rosacea.
you do?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay, then
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And
from
then
alcohol-induced rosacea.
Yep, but that's what I'm saying. But over
Yes,
time, it's gotten.
okay.
Hold on. Do you have any concealer on you right now?
I don't.
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
You know what? What we can do is we can come back and I'll actually do a before and after.
Let's
for
do
you.
it. Yeah, I'm
that'd
totally
be
fine
good.
by that.
Yeah, just a quick little film.
yeah.
And so my question is with all the new women's movements, which I think is great,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole thing is makeup, right? Is being your true self and all that. Because I've seen like girls that I've seen on Instagram, I see in real life, they don't even look the same, not even close. What is that? I mean, do you get a lot of pushback from women now? Like, why do you have to cover yourself? You know what I mean? Like, is that a thing?
No,
You get any hate about?
No, I feel like my before and afters are a real big hit on Instagram. I feel that the drastic changes in the looks, it does bring a lot of attention. I do have some men that, comment and they could be negative, but I think women, we all love this. We all love makeup and what it makes us feel like. I feel like when I put lashes on a woman, she feels like she can conquer the world. And I love that. And the other day, I did a 50-year-old woman's makeup. She was so down about herself. And oh, I'm 50, I'm getting old. I look like an old lady. Girl, let me help you out. The moment she saw her face, I've never seen somebody smile the way she did.
Wow.
And, all my brides smile and they love their makeup. But the way she just lit up, it was just priceless. And I love making women feel beautiful and confident. I feel like I don't want makeup to change somebody. I want them to feel confident and really, stand out and smile, make them feel good.
Yeah, really just enhance what they already have,
Yes,
but
yeah.
then also feel good about what you have too.
Absolutely.
Definitely got to be harder for women, especially getting older. It's one of those things that, I remember looking at like my sister's, my friends' yearbooks from like the 80s. People looked old back then. Now people are aging so well. It's crazy. You talk about a 50-year-old and like 50 to me looks more like 35 looked to me 20, 30 years ago. I don't think it is just makeup, but I think that is part of it, that you have a lot of these different things now that are not only making you look good, but are good for your skin. Because I know a long time ago, a lot of that stuff was toxic as hell.
Went wild, yeah.
Yeah, and so I do wonder, like, what have you ever had any, like, any strange reactions to any products or anything like that, where you were just like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into here?
Maybe when I'm a hoarder when it comes to makeup. So I kept palettes that were like 10
But
years
your
old.
bathroom's just a mess.
No, it actually is very clean.
Yeah.
Just your drawers just full of
No.
Just a junk drawer full of like old makeup and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, I actually just cleaned that out the other day.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
but,
go.
I think that, you shouldn't hold on to really old makeup. And that was my problem. I think I did get an allergic reaction when I did.
Yeah.
But what, like, my thing is, like, I'm all for someone feeling good about themselves. I feel it's maybe like equivalent to a guy, like he wears like a nice suit. Even this guy, when he puts on a suit, he just got a little more swagger
It's a
about
little
him.
different.
Like, kind of close, but my only issue with makeup is how different someone is. You know what I mean? Like the drastic difference where they don't look anything like that person.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I guess it's almost like a filter, right? Like these people are doing so many filters, and then you look at them and you're like, I don't even know, like, is that the same person? Like, they don't look anything alike. So I think there's a fine line, maybe when it's too much.
Yeah.
Like you're enhancing your beauty compared to like creating a whole different person.
For what I create, I love to enhance. A lot of my clients, they come back to me because they always say, oh, I love how natural you made me feel.
Yeah.
I love that it didn't feel cakey. Mind you, there's so many amazing artists out there that do drastic changes, that do a phenomenal job. That's just not what I do. Yeah. I feel like I do great before and afters, but I keep it subtle and I keep it, to, a woman's liking.
No, and I think you've always done well, because I was just thinking about it right now. Like, I've seen you several different times. I'm sure you've probably always had makeup on, but it's never been distracting. It's never been a thing where it's like too much. What do you think? Like, because there's times where I see someone where I'm like, oh my God, that makeup looks terrible. What is the problem that most women do when they don't look good? Maybe when it's too caked on, maybe is it too much foundation? Is it too little this? What tends to be the biggest issue that you can help most women with, do you think?
Probably with eyebrows and concealer.
How does our eyebrows look?
Your guys' eyebrows look great.
Okay,
I used to get them.
There's a little grooming there.
Grooming.
I used to get them waxed back in the day. This little Asian lady would put me in this back room, and it was so small that my feet would go in the air. Wasn't like that, but I felt like it was like too pretty, like too
clean.
Yeah, I think there's a little.
Too pretty, boy.
I think you need to maybe like trim your eyebrow. Like my barber, like she trims them and all that and keeps them kind of in order. But when it's like pointed at the end, it's just a little much. Mm-hmm. But I always wondered that with everything that's going on, just the filters. I don't know. It's just tough because you see a girl, then they do the makeup, and then they do the filter.
And then you meet them in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like not the same person. And it's like, yeah, it's just tough. I don't feel like guys, we can't do that. Well, I mean, guys are doing here's the thing. When a guy uses a filter, I kind of lose a little bit. Even my friends that use a filter,
what are you doing?
I just use a little bit of respect for them each time. Like on their story, I'll look in the top left. I'm like, dude, come on. Like,
yeah.
Like I think Brody did it the other day. I'm like, sweet filter, Brody.
Come on, Brody.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there is that happy medium where it's just too much, and you're just a completely different person. But I don't. And then okay, so now you're doing these weddings, and how come you haven't done your own product line yet?
So
didn't we give?
We have talked about it.
Yeah, didn't I give you a couple samples or what do we do? Why wouldn't you do that?
So I feel that it was just not the right time. Now that I've opened a storefront and I'm taking over a salon, I feel
Hold on.
Yeah.
What's that all about? You just kind of slipped that in there.
Yeah.
Well, just as of recently, I took over a salon and had my soft opening last week, and I was just telling Tim,
Congrats.
like,
Thanks for the
thank you.
invite. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It was just a bunch of girlfriends that,
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Thank you for the invite. Yeah. We would hate
Hey,
to
what's
go
going on? Oh, I didn't know this was happening today.
Oh my God! I was just
Ladies,
walking
here's my
by.
card. I'm single later.
The grand opening, be there.
Yeah.
But so now it's like, all right, now got to get to work.
So it's
a beauty salon. I want to so
it's just you.
it's
Or-
just me right now.
Wow.
However, I hired a nurse practitioner. We'll be doing Botox.
Ooh, nice.
We're gonna incorporate like some Medi Spa in there. We do brows there. I'm looking for a lash girl. So I want to keep it just strictly beauty. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do like cutting and dyeing hair, but we'll be able to do blowouts and styling and stuff like that. But
What's a blowout?
like a style.
I always hear it, but like, what is that?
Yeah.
So it's just a dry, no wet hair. I mean, well,
We
it's
should have
just with
done a
blowout.
makeover on Tim. God, we should have done a full hair makeup.
should've.
Could have.
Just-
Should have.
That would have been so.
well.
How did you get into that? Like, how did that happen? Was it someone going
So-
under and they needed to get?
So they needed some help, and she has been asking me for a really long time. And I was in nursing school, and I was actually full time, and I recently went to part time, and I'm doing it at my own pace now, which has been so helpful because I can now juggle my family, school, and then my business, which works a lot better for me. But I just dive right in.
Where is it?
It's off of Douglas and Rocky Ridge.
Oh,
So
okay.
right there next to the Sprouts.
That's right near Douglas and Rocky Ridge. It's near one of my the West Coast Nutrition, one of my nutrition stores
yes,
over
I've
there.
seen it. I've seen that.
So, and what is that? Are you just taking over the whole place?
So
or-
yes, so I am taking over. I will be doing makeup there. I'll be teaching, and hopefully I'm working with a few different people right now to open up academy.
and then
for
you-
makeup.
and then you're doing nursing, so you can do Botox and all that
So
kind of
I
stuff.
can do Botox. More of like I said, I want to eventually want to do a Medi Spa, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I hired a nurse practitioner to already teach me, even though I have to still be licensed to
Yeah.
do it. I'll still learn, sooner.
And then, is there anything for us guys in your place?
So waxing,
Where would you wax?
I don't know, your
What do-
butt.
Oh, yeah,
do you want me
yeah.
to wax
The
your
whole
butt?
wax.
Oh, we were gonna do that. Oh, we dropped the ball so much
Yeah.
on this.
I definitely have never
Wait,
gotten
hold
my
on.
beehole waxed, but it is something I've been thinking about for a while. So
you straight up wax a butthole? Like you do that?
Yeah, I would do that. I mean,
Have
I
you-
am
have you
licensed
done
to
it?
do that. Yeah, I have.
So walk me through that. How awkward is that for the dude? But if he's getting his butthole waxed, I'm sure he's not really worried about it.
Yeah.
It's not even awkward.
Is it
at
straight
all.
guys, gay guys, or like everybody?
I've done gay and straight.
And so walk me through that process. I'm intrigued.
hey, what's up? How you doing?
So-
I know what you're here for.
Yeah, they just walk up like, I need my butthole
It's
waxed.
very similar to inserting a catheter, which is my nursing. That's the nursing side of me.
Yeah. I hope it's not. Well, I mean, what?
I'm not sticking anything up the butthole, but I
Yeah.
am spreading, and then But
No, I don't know.
I don't
That's
do
what I'm
that. I
asking
don't do
about.
that. That's not what I do. I have somebody do that.
Yeah.
Because esthetician, waxing, all that
So,
wasn't my
so
cup of
is it like I'm intrigued by this. Like, so they're spreading the butthole and then you're putting like, is it paper or like, how do you, I don't know anything about waxing.
There's actually two different methods. There's either wax, hot wax, or there's
and then you
the
just
sugar.
pull the wax. That's got to just kill you, right?
Yeah, which is why I believe in laser, which is why I'm going to school because I am fully lasered, and I am a firm believer in lasering your whole body and not waxing. I feel so bad when women get Brazilians because
Because you got to keep doing it, but it's for your business. It might be good because once you get lasered, you're done. I did the laser thing once, and then COVID happened a week later.
Oh.
But I'm not really hairy, but there are certain things I want to,
Yeah, I mean,
personal things I wanted to, I want to groom
it
up.
doesn't go away like forever.
So when you
You're
get
gonna-
lasered, your hair removal, it doesn't, it comes back a little bit, or
it comes back like it's been 2 years and it's coming back a little bit. So I'll just wax myself now.
got it.
So it's just
not
not as
permanent.
painful. But yeah,
'cause-
sometimes however many sessions you do, it can be permanent.
Because I don't remember the laser being too painful, but
No, it's not. Waxing's more painful.
it didn't feel good. But even like my eyebrows, that hurt.
Yeah, that hurts.
But I can imagine my butthole. Like, no, thank you. That is not happening. I
You
don't
said
care.
something else in there. You said the sugar. What's the sugar?
It's sugaring. It's
Okay.
another method of waxing.
I don't. Yeah. Like
Well,
what is?
explain that.
It's,
Yeah.
you're just it's just a sugaring.
No, we don't know. That's what we're
That's
asking.
I'm gonna have to
Make-
show you. You know how we need to have like a demonstration. I
Yeah.
will. Yeah, we can do
So
that.
you put, and then it rips off?
rips off. Yeah, but
So-
just with your hand, you could. With your gloves on. But just
Yeah, this is getting a little,
So it's almost more like a sandpapery kind of thing where it just grips on and pulls the
It-
hairs out.
absolutely,
And
yeah.
you're saying that's better than getting the wax and ripping it off
no,
sometimes.
it's still painful.
That's what I'm thinking.
The best is
they're both-
lasering.
The best is lasering.
Well, I'm saying if it's between the two, if I'm going in to get waxed, it's either I'm doing the strips or I'm doing this crazy sugar on your hands thing.
have you been waxed?
No, never.
No eyebrows, no nothing?
No, I ain't no bitch. No, I'm kidding. No, it's just one of those things, and it's funny because I remember you talking about that a long time ago over here. That waxing, like the after effects, like you couldn't do a few things. I remember, like the day after, I'm like,
Yeah. It
what the
hurts.
fuck? Like you can't even like. I remember you said you couldn't take a shower. You couldn't
Yeah,
like.
it hurts.
You couldn't get it wet. I'm like, oh my god! Like you can't do anything. You basically just have to sit still for like 3 days, basically,
Yeah.
until you're okay.
Maybe.
That's wild to me. Like I would, I've nicked myself shaving before, and like that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Like I can go on the next day, I could still rinse it off and clean it off. But yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you too, like if, to look a certain way, upkeep is a big deal.
In the beauty industry, yes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I know you're constantly having to do upkeep and do these things, and so obviously lasering is going to cut that in half, cut out a lot of the time that you're doing that, a lot of the pain that you're going through. What is something that you wish you didn't have to do in order to keep up, looking great, doing all these things? Is there something you wish you could just totally take out, that like you had the natural eyebrows or eyelashes that you didn't have to put in or something like that?
I always say that I wish I wouldn't have done my lips, and that's the injections.
Yeah.
I wish I wouldn't have done my lips
don't think it
until
looks-
later. No,
yeah.
later on in life. I wish I would have waited.
They don't look unnatural.
No, I know, but just I don't know, for my own, and because I have a 16-year-old little girl who
Yeah.
has really big lips,
Yeah.
and then will ask me, "Do you think I'll have to get my lips done?" I'm like, "No,
Yeah,
absolutely
you
not."
don't realize that though.
Yeah,
As a
you
mom, you're
don't.
just like, oh, I'm gonna. But I feel like the laser thing, like this. Well, let's get a little personal here.
Okay.
They haven't figured out the grooming thing for guys. Like I don't know. We've talked about it. Like there's ways to groom it, but they haven't figured it out. Like you're nicking yourself.
Yeah.
1 out of every 3 times.
Balls
So-
are not great. They're not a nice flat surface. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
and they
it's-
dig in there. It's a real thing. I was watching UFC and they had the groomer. What's that thing? The male groomer they have a male grooming kit they sell. It's for guys.
Oh, okay.
That shit nicked me so hard. I was like screaming in the bathroom. But that's a thing, and not a lot of people like to talk. I don't care. I'm like, Tim,
no,
like,
we don't care.
dude, I just like, gosh, what was the name? It's a grooming kit.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
Wasn't Dollar Shave Club or something like that,
No,
right? It was
no.
Manscaped or something like that. Yeah,
Manscaped.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That like literally like put me on my knees. Like they haven't figured that out. So the that's why I did the laser thing. But it's just a little uncomfortable. Like you're all in there, but can you even do that for a guy?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think I would.
You can't do that, right?
No.
But like I got mine from a doctor. It was like a doctor. He did like Botox. But there really is a need for that. I like to keep pretty groomed and and tidy down there.
I'm gonna write this in, and maybe you can share this with my
It's
nurse
a big thing. It is like those like literally clippers for that reason do not work.
It's called Manscaped.
Yeah,
Manscaped.
Manscaped. It's like a little trimmer, like for your
So-
beard, but it's for your
Yeah.
male.
So would you come to the
Genitalia.
salon and get Manscaped by my nurse practitioner?
I mean, I went to a guy in Roseville. He was like a Botox. I forget his name.
And he did it for you?
Yeah, he did laser, and it was a guy, and I felt a little more. I don't know. Like I don't really ever get nervous or anything, so that's not a big deal. But I'm thinking for the masses, but liability. I don't think you can have a girl with a guy in that aspect. You're probably going to run into some issues.
Maybe.
There's a lot of creepy dudes out there, you know.
Yeah. You just got waxed yesterday. I know, but I want it again. Like,
yeah, but there's definitely an issue. Like literally, they have these clippers, Manscaped. What do you think? That's for a guy, you know, a guy's part. We'll put it that way. Do a PG, and it doesn't work. Like it literally like cut the shit out of me. I'm like,
yeah,
I threw it away. So there is a need for it, but I don't know. Laser's probably the way to do it.
I'm trying to think.
Would you ever laser?
I'd consider it, but it's one of those things I don't really
annoying.
Need to, like, I don't know. I don't need to be hairless
like
all the time,
bands.
but yeah, like especially during the wintertime. But no,
What do you mean during the wintertime? You're
gets
gonna
too
need
cold.
No, you got to keep that tidy all the time.
That's what I say. I'm clean-ish always, but like wintertime, man, that shit. It's
Are we
crazy.
literally the last 10 minutes talking about pubes?
That's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. I thought that's what we brought her on, Angelica the Pube Queen.
But that is a big. It's like for dudes, that's the only thing we have to really upkeep: our beard, that down there, and then if guys are like their backs are hairy or like I have like 3 chest hairs, so I'm good. I just go like that. But
so I do a male grooming for grooms when I have weddings.
Grooming grooms.
So easy.
So you do their backs and their, or what do you do for the grooming?
I'll do like touch up powder. You know, no.
And what do you charge for that?
That's about $100. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's
I was gonna say. I mean, you probably just giving them a little bit of makeup for pictures and things like that,
Yes.
so that way it looks a little bit better. You know, you can see their eyes a little bit better, that kind of thing. So
I once had a groom tell me, "Can you do me? Like I need her in my room.
Yeah.
I want that." And when I was doing some concealer on him, he was loving it. And then the pictures, it was actually Katarina's husband. He looked like an Abercrombie male model.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's cool. So yeah, no, I'm curious because brides are obviously, like you say, 90% of your business. So you're dealing with a lot of brides. That's a touchy time to be doing makeup on somebody because there's a lot of anxiety going into that day. Obviously, the bride has by far the most, attention on her. What's that like being in there with someone who's about to get married? Are you in there just giving them moral support as much as you can? Are you like, are you charging fees for like
I feel like my brides are so easygoing. It's the moms.
Yeah.
It's mother of the brides that are a little
It's not
tense.
the bridezilla. Okay. They're
They're running around doing last minute things. And I can understand. I'm a mom too. I could just imagine what it would feel like at my daughter's day. So I get that. It's anyone else trying to chime in or calling the bride that bothers me. So my brides are pretty good. I try to keep them as comfortable as possible, and I make sure that when I give them my time, it's just their time. Nobody bother her. She's mine. Go ask somebody else.
Have you ever had to walk out of a situation? Did it ever get so bad you're like, I'm out of here?
No. Well,
do you get paid before or after?
I get paid after.
Oh, so
and then
you
I
gotta
do,
stick
and then
around,
I do. A lot of them do deposits, or they'll pay me day before. They'll do payments if that works best. I had a lot of brides like had moments to themselves during COVID. There was a lot of tension because of the lost venues. I had a booked whole flight in Hawaii, and my bride lost her venue because of COVID. So I get that, every bride needed their moment, but still I feel that, that's a big day. So I get it.
Have you ever had someone walk away from the altar or anything like that, or not go through it?
No, I have had a few different brides that have had to cancel weddings because of either a death or their husband's cheating. Or
their fiance
their fiance is cheating, or their fiance is not making it to the altar.
But you're not doing anything, right? Well, you're leaving that time. It's more of your time because you could probably book another wedding.
Yes,
but at least you're not doing it, and then yeah.
Yeah, COVID was rough, man. I knew a lot of people that were gonna get married, 2020, and all of a sudden, just now we can't. We don't know what the hell we're gonna do, and
I don't know. I feel like you could. if you really want to get married, you could have made it happen.
You could,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people that did, but they
Backyard
did these
weddings.
backyard weddings as opposed to going to the place they wanted to go to, the place that
Yeah,
they had
true.
already planned to go to, the place that everybody had already bought tickets to go to. I mean, that's the tough thing. It's not a
Yeah.
matter of me and my closest friends. It's my family coming all the way from New Jersey, coming from Florida, coming from, New England, coming from England. That's the toughest part. And so, yeah, I saw a lot of people that were just like, crap, what do we do now? And there was a lot of scrambling around. But then once like venues started to open up, I mean, I know everybody was rushing to get in. Was that like your busiest time ever all of a sudden, I would think?
It was really busy.
Yeah.
Then following year after that's when it was the busiest. A lot of, brides that didn't get married in 2020, they, fell into 2021 and
Yeah.
2022.
You ever watch Married at First Sight?
Which ones?
Oh, it's the worst. It's two people, they meet at the altar for the first time.
Oh, yes. I've seen, yeah.
That is just insane. Like, I'm
Insane.
hooked
No
on
way.
that, and it's
Of course.
yeah,
you
of
would.
course I am. And the worst part is like these people are obviously unstable. Like, what stable person is going to meet someone for the first time at an altar and get married? But
Yeah. And
Yeah.
agree to be filmed while doing it. You know what I mean?
it's
Like,
such a shit show, and I can't wait to watch it every week. I'm tuned in. I'm hooked. My sister's hooked.
it's a crazy concept. I mean, it really is the way things used to be for so long. Like a lot of times you would not know who you were going to get married to. Your dad set it up,
God,
the
imagine
Lord.
if your dad or my dad set up our wedding.
Oh man. I
Why
think
did you go on a show like that?
My sister's been trying to get me to go on
Let's
Love is
do it.
Blind. You know what Love is
Yes,
Blind?
yeah,
Where you
I
go on these
watched
little
that.
pods.
yeah.
And or the golden, I think I'm like the golden bachelor status
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say you're too old for
unfortunately.
those things now, bro. But
Yeah, so
they don't want guys in their 40s on those shows, unfortunately. No.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple of them.
Usually they start like because a lot of those shows 25 is the cutoff and then 30 is the cutoff. They for the most part want
So you're
young
gonna have
people
to-
out there, but then they start doing some of these other ones that
The
are good
older
too. But
ones.
yeah,
You got it.
but yeah.
Well, I
you can do
think
it.
my sister's pushing hard for Love is Blind, and I'm like, I can't even get through like a date, like a first date here. Like, how am I gonna go on a full show? And
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's nervous, yeah. And you're not yourself when you got cameras on you. You know what I mean? You're always gonna be like, "Ooh, I shouldn't." Well, yeah, but I'm
Not
saying,
really. I mean,
well, still,
she was kind of nervous. Now she's good.
But that's what I'm saying.
but I
In
don't
general,
care,
there's
yeah.
still certain things that you're. I'm not gonna say that the cameras are on me. I'll wait for
Yeah.
that for later. Not
Yeah, I
even.
don't really have that though.
But I'm saying, but there are some times where we might hold back simply because, oh, I can't say that. That's someone else's. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's that. So you can't fully be yourself when you got cameras on you when you're meeting this new person. That's crazy. But yeah, I do wonder like what that would be like for you, like in the makeup chair. Like, yeah, I don't know what we're getting ourselves into, but good luck. You know, like that would be the weirdest thing ever. But you do say moms are the toughest ones to deal with. Bridesmaids have been pretty easy too to deal with then too, huh?
They're pretty.
See, I was gonna
easy.
say I would think because I've been to a lot of weddings and I've been
feel
a
like-
groomsman a lot of times, and I've had to wrangle a few bridesmaids because they're just no, I'm serious. They're just too drunk. They're too pushy. They're too whatever, and they're just like
They like to have their opinion, and I respect it. I feel like so many girls that I've brought on to work with me to like help me, they're like, "How do you do it? Like you're so calm with these brides.
Yeah.
Like they're
You got a pretty calm demeanor, though.
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I can handle it. I mean, I've been doing this over 10 years. I have to be able to handle this. I mean, it's easy.
you're also really good at passive aggressive. Like, oh, I wish I could be as silly as you and just be, you know what I mean? Like I could see you like, okay, all right, I see what I'm working with over here. This is someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, you mentioned you have a daughter. Now that your daughter is old enough, I'm sure she's experimenting with makeup. She's trying a few different things. How was that first talk? How did that first start going?
She actually is the opposite of me.
Really?
She's a sport girl, and which I love. She has like no interest in makeup
Really?
at all.
She doesn't wear any makeup.
Mascara and lip gloss.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's still- that's a start, you know?
Yeah, it's a start.
How were you growing up in high school?
Oh, I was wearing a full face of makeup.
Really?
Yeah, I was wearing little hoochie clothes, my little heels.
Was your mom like make, or what was she?
My mom, taught me makeup at like 5.
Oh, wow.
She put hot pink lipstick on me and made sure that I was always wearing my mascara.
So that's where you got it from.
Yeah.
Is she still around?
She's still around.
And
She's
how
still
is
wearing
she-
her hot pink lipstick.
Atta girl.
She must be proud of you, right? Like
Yeah,
especially
she
the
loves it.
salon.
Yeah,
And
she
so, what's
is.
the name of the salon?
So I have not
Released it yet?
released a name yet.
Until
It's-
today, till right now.
Right now it's under beauty.
It'll just
so.
be dudes come in and get waxed. That's it.
No,
Pubes no more.
The depubifier. Come on in, folks.
Just
Disclaimer.
Just a thing of pubes with a big like a no smoking sign.
God.
Just a curly hair. With
You knew this was gonna happen.
Oh
Yeah,
my
look
God!
at-
This is what I was trying to avoid.
That's why she was so nervous
Yeah.
when she sat down.
Yeah, right. She's like, well, so what are we going to talk about here? Just curious.
don't worry
Just
about
want to
it.
know. Just want to know. What we're
Okay,
gonna say.
so you got your salon, and then you're gonna do weddings on weekends. So that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna be making money during the. What are you gonna do different? Like what is your
So my ultimate goal is I want to teach people to be me, to be a boss makeup artist. I want them. I feel like there's so many girls that are so afraid to like throw all their eggs in one basket. And I'm like, no, do it. So many people that hate their jobs, or we live in California. Unfortunately, we have to have a side hustle. If you have a 9 to 5, you got to have a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's so many women out there that love to do makeup, that have so many family and friends, and there is makeup for everyone.
So you want to be
Clients.
like do like an apprenticeship or something like that,
Yeah.
or are you afraid that's going to steal your business? No.
Because when I was in makeup school, I remember my teacher, who taught me a lot, said, "There's going to be business for you. Don't worry." Yeah. When there was a lot, I think I even outdid her. But
yeah,
just kidding.
Well, if you create a model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have an apprentice, you show them the business, and then you create a franchise.
Yeah.
That's what I did with the nutrition stores. But if you're in there, you're already doing it anyways. I talked to my barber about this. She's thinking about maybe franchising out, and you're already doing it. You're already creating a model, whether you like it or not. In there, you might as well put it on paper, teach these girls, and say, okay, do you want to go to San Diego and open your own beauty salon, and then you get a percentage of it, and then you do your product line, and then you make money on the product line. But yeah, I've never understood why people don't all franchise or do licensees, because you're already creating a model. No matter what, you might as well sell that model.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of competition out there. There really is. And I feel like sometimes people don't like to go that route because they're like, well, if she could do it, I could do it too, which I respect that. I respect everyone's hustle. And I feel like all the girls at MAC, I told them, girl, get out of here. You could do it yourself, And I feel like I encouraged them, and I brought them even onto my team when I would do a lot of gigs of like 60 girls and I needed help. So I would bring them on, and now I see them, they're all independent makeup artists doing their own thing. And it's a good feeling to know that I knew I was a part of that.
Yeah. It's like when we did the fight stuff, we were a very small part of their journey, but watching them fight in our organization and then seeing them on TV, it made it worth it. When I see Andre Feely and Josh Emmett and Max Griffin, these guys,
Max Payne.
Like Andre Feely, Andre Feely, he had nothing. Like he could barely afford Jack's Urban Eats. Like he was struggling, and then now he's got this house. He's got this big old sauna and a pool, and it's the same kind of feeling. It's like I didn't fight, but we played a small part of him getting where he's at. If he doesn't get fights, he doesn't get in the UFC. But yeah, there is something there that. It's not money. It's not any money motivation, but it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like you empowered somebody and you gave them a little bit of, to make it to the next level. But I think with you, I think it's big. Like the women empowerment movement is huge right now.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. I think it's great. I think here's my problem with it. All right, we're ready to get into women empowerment. My problem is relationships, right? There's got to be a man and a female, and I feel like the empowerment movement it's just demasculating men sometimes. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Like, I feel like in a relationship, right, there's got to be the man and the woman, but if the man's not stepping up, the woman's gonna, but I feel like, I don't know. Is that is that a central focus for you going forward? Is that like...
I believe in woman empowerment, no doubt. However, I definitely take advice from a man always. My brother, he's my mentor. He actually is the one who helped me begin, doing makeup and started my whole business. So I'm constantly asking him for advice. Or when it comes to like finances, like I never used to save. Now I'm a huge saver. I save all my coins and pennies. I think that's big, especially as a single parent. You want to make sure that there's money on rainy days, and I believe that's where a man comes in. Not saying, women don't know how to save, women are not great mentors, but my mentors have always been men.
But it's hard. It's like, even to talk about it, I'm like, God, I don't want to say anything. I'm just like fumbling my words here, because you got to be careful, right? You don't want to.
And I think I've even gone to you for advice, like, when it comes
scary.
to, when business advice.
Not betting advice. But yeah, sorry to rub that salt in that one. But yeah,
it is a touchy subject,
well,
right?
And I was going to say, because you're in the position, something that we kind of mentioned with Alicia Justice when she was on, is that when you're a single mom, you have taken on the role of a provider as well. And so that's the thing, like, I think that's one of those things that probably drove you to saying, okay, I can do this and I will do this, because, just being at Mac, I'm making way less money. It's stable, I mean, there's that thing. And that's the tough thing, I think, for a lot of people is, when I used to run a daycare back in the day, I thought about starting my own, and I was just like, man, I don't know. There's a lot of liability there, right? One of the best things about working at the school district where I did, we already had lawyers, we already had things in place, systems in place. That's a lot easier to just go to work and do your job than it is to actually start something there. But I think, like I say, being a single mom gives you sometimes that drive, because you're like, I want this, I need this. So first of all, congrats on doing that, because like you say, that's a huge jump. First of all, leaving there and then to open up your own place, that's another big jump. So first of all, more power to you. Secondly, it sounds like you're killing it, so keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, is that one of those things that you felt like, okay, I want to, maybe have something there that my daughter could eventually take over? Is it anything like that? Or, I mean, because like you say, you're pushing it, you're sharing with the youth, you're paying forward your knowledge. And I think that's one of the things that's lost a lot of times in our culture. Like, we had experts for generations that weren't able to go on YouTube. They just learned from people who knew what they were doing, and they kept focusing on what they were doing. So yeah, like you're saying, you want to have your store, you want to sort of keep doing things better for women. You want that to be your legacy more than anything, right? Is just to keep showing them the way. When you're going through esthetician, cosmetology, all these schools, you said you learned from a lot of teachers there. What are they teaching you? What are we going through? Like, if you're talking about, say you have this blank slate, what kind of mascara, what color are we looking for? What determines those sort of things? So
they've, taught me the foundation of how to prep skin, and, from prepping to color matching to color theory, and that aspect of as a makeup artist and esthetician school was facials, and I never pursued doing esthetician, but I went the makeup route. The only thing that I lacked was marketing and marketing my business. They don't teach you how to market your business. Luckily, I have a brother who is in marketing and was able to teach me, and now I'm like, I need to teach women.
And that's what so you're going to put that in part of your teaching, because I was going to say, what are you going to do different? Because it sounds like
I want to hold them accountable. Like, if they needed anything, like posting on social media is so huge. It's free, and I think that, women get so afraid to post reels or to show their true selves. And I feel like I've showed my true self a lot on social media, and which is why I've engaged with a lot of my clients who keep coming back to me. But marketing is huge, and it's free, and Instagram's free, and Facebook's free, and all these. So
I saw you had posted something on Instagram where it said, I had hearing about brides doing their own makeup. Girls, I'm here for you. Like, hit me up. And so, like, first of all, that's wild to me that I could never assume that like anyone would be doing their own makeup. Like,
well, it's a lot of money. I mean, you're talking about 175 times 30. I mean, that's $4,000 or $5,000. Like, if I'm a girl, I'm like, maybe I can just do a little touch over here, and maybe the bride, but the bridesmaids. But I mean, I think like the dad's, fronting the bill, so no one really cares, but
Yeah, that's funny too, because you're talking about, so what is the largest bridal party that you've had to do? When you're talking about doing those 30 people, that's not just the bridal party, right?
No,
You're
it's
talking
the
about,
mom,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people
Or I've
coming
had
to
like
you.
2 different brides in one day, and then I'll split them up.
Okay.
But in one day, probably like 16 girls.
Wow.
That's like in one bridal party.
Wow.
But I had help. I always
Yeah.
make sure that I have help. Like I'm comfortably able to do 7 with the timing.
I was going to ask you, how much time does that take?
yeah.
If we're talking just one bride, I'm assuming that's still almost damn near an hour of
Yeah,
makeup just
yeah,
for her.
yeah.
So to do all the other girls too, I mean, so that's, we're looking at about 4 or 5 man hours if you
give
have 4 or
them-
5 people.
I give them about 40 minutes tops for each bridesmaids,
Okay.
and then I give a little bit more time for my brides.
Wow. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's a pretty long day. When does your day start normally? We talking like 8 in the morning? Are you over there doing stuff? No.
Like 4.
4 in the afternoon?
4 in the
4 in
morning.
the morning.
Jesus Christ. I was like, okay.
So no going out,
Wow.
staying up late Fridays.
That is
yeah.
so early.
It is really
And
early.
that's like on the damn bride who has to be up that early and like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
But
Ladies, I am
I
so
think-
sorry that you have to go through that.
Yeah.
And the guys are
Yeah, we
just
wake up 30
golfing
minutes
and-
before.
But
Oh, there we go. We're ready.
I get the little manscape. Yeah, a little.
Shake out of the shower. All right, we're okay. Let's
Yeah,
go.
guys, God, we have it so easy. We
do.
think about it,
So
like
easy.
getting ready.
We do.
Like I really, like I had a meeting today at 5:30. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I got in the shower at 5:15,
Yeah.
and it's just it really. I mean, 5 minutes, throw on some clothes, put on a little face lotion or whatever that's called, and then a little gel, and that's it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. And you guys, how long does it take you to get ready? Like really?
really,
Yeah, like from
like
the start.
Like if I'm like
if you want to feel
taking
yourself,
my time and
got
like
music
an hour,
on,
like
wine.
hair and makeup,
Well, that's
like
not
an hour. That's not
so
bad.
hour and a half.
An hour.
Yeah, like a half an hour, but that's a long time.
But I have to like say goodbye to my dogs.
Yeah.
That's like 30 minutes.
I do the same thing. So I
Yeah.
make them kiss me, and then they know I'm leaving
So I have to
because
say
they have the
bye.
shower, so they don't want to kiss me. But then I feel it's like bad luck if they don't kiss me, right? So I make them. I have to say that there's one right here.
I was just going to say, I was
I
looking
know.
around.
TREAT word,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll give me a kiss.
Sleeping like
but-
an angel back here.
But yeah, I feel like guys, we have it so easy, like getting ready, the whole childbirthing thing. That's brutal. And what do we have to do? The easy part, and then I feel like as we get older, I just feel it's more graceful sometimes. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is that male chauvinist or probably something? But I feel
think of how many guys in their 50s are with the girls in their 20s. Now reverse that. You don't see that. You just don't see a lot of 50-year-old chicks with, stunning
and then
dudes
I
from
feel there's a
Hollywood.
lot of pressure too. Because
Yeah.
when guys get old, like I'm in my very early 40s, and
mid 40s now.
and now I'm in my early 40s, and I feel like I don't have pressure. If I were a woman in their 30s, 40s, I'd feel like, man, there's a lot of pressure, but yeah, I feel like, I mean, we won't have to do anything when grooms are getting ready. It's just,
Easy.
yeah, you play golf, you have a couple drinks, and that's it.
That's as my experience as being a groomsman, I think 5 or 6 times. That was our, okay, it's time to get ready. All right, who's got shots? Like that was it. Like we just needed to step up our drunkenness game. So, because I've always said that as a groomsman, your job is to take the attention off of all the family members that are going to get too drunk. You need to be the drunkest person there, right? You can't have Uncle Frank falling all over the floor. You got to be the guy that's doing that, like that's
Yeah.
your job. As a bridesmaid, very different job. As a bride, it's the craziest job. But then you, like I say, coming on in, doing your job, that's got to just be nerve-wracking to me. Because like you say, this is a big moment for these people. What has been like the toughest thing you've run into on a day for a wedding? Like, was there ever a time where someone's like, "Oh my God, it's an hour earlier than we expected. We need to hurry this up." Anything like that you've ever run into?
Probably during COVID, I had a bride last minute tell me, "Hey, I found a venue and it's in the backyard," and I was already booked that day. So I had to hurry up and do one bride and then run to her, and it was just. That was so stressful
Yeah.
on me, which I felt like everyone was feeling that energy. it hasn't always been perfect, but I feel like I try to maintain as best as I can. But when you're under that pressure, that's so hard.
Yeah.
And then probably another time where I had a bride who, because I do hair as well and just style, but she chopped off her hair the day before her wedding. She's a lawyer, so I couldn't even argue with her. She would have probably sued me and won. So
She's a lawyer.
She's got several like cases already ready to go in Mims v.
this is
Delta.
why I did
you
it.
don't like my hair?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Why? I'm like,
Wait,
well,
you said that?
I'm like, no, it's just different
No, you
from
didn't
what
say
our
that.
trial run is.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, figure it out. And she left and she took like a Xanax and smoked a blunt in the bathroom and then came back to me.
Wow.
And then it was fine.
Yeah.
But that was so stressful.
So here's the thing. I've never... God, I'm going to get so much in trouble on
it.
this episode.
Say it.
Like,
Please
geez.
don't.
I've never seen a girl look better when they cut their hair. Like, it doesn't look good.
Agreed.
Like, I don't care. Like, whatever at this point. But, like, we've talked about pubes.
It's
all
okay.
that
This
kind of
is
stuff.
personal preference.
But, like, when someone cuts their hair, I feel like everyone has to say something because it's the elephant in the room.
Oh,
like,
it's so
it
cute.
looks so cute because you
Yeah.
have
pixie
to say
cut.
it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a girl, maybe like Jada Pinkett. Nah, not even her. Yeah, Haley.
with hair.
I was thinking of Halle Berry.
Oh, okay.
That's the only girl I've ever seen where
Wait, you...
No, have you seen Halle Berry with hair? She looks way.
Yeah, she looks
yeah,
pretty
but she
hot.
pulls off short hair.
She can pull off short hair. She looks better with long hair.
Yeah, so here's the
Yeah.
point. Like, when you cut your hair, it doesn't look good, right? So, have you ever cut your hair, or do you
Yeah,
have
well-
like an A-line?
No,
No.
just like to my shoulders.
Yeah.
But do you agree with that? Like,
I didn't
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, but it's hard to take care of, right? I mean, I couldn't imagine. Like, it's a big deal. Like, when you have short hair, it's easier. I feel like when you get older, you don't really care, and they just
Yeah.
chop it off. But yeah, I've never ever ran into any girl. I even tell my sister, I'm like, why'd you cut your hair like that? Or anyone. Like, I just don't think it looks good.
I think shoulder length is always acceptable, and a little less than that, it starts to look a little funky to me. I've always thought long hair in general, like you can do a lot more things with it, it feels like. So you can always kind of look different. So I think that's a big thing too. But my mom has mentioned something that I never realized. She says that once you basically hit like 50 or 60, you should have short hair. And I'm like, why do you feel like that? She goes, have you ever seen like a 70-year-old woman with long hair? It is ratty. It doesn't look good. And I go, I'll give you that for the most part, that it is probably better to trim it up a
Yeah.
little bit at that point. I mean, if you're, not going to the club every weekend anymore, I don't really think you need to have your hair looking, perfect all the time. But yeah, that's one thing that I never really occurred to me. And like that, I can kind of see, like, as women get older, okay, yeah, you just isn't looking so great. It just makes you look like a hippie, I think, more than anything else. But yeah, like for women, I just think hair, like it is an
our
accessory. It is like, it's part of you, but it's such an accessory that you can play with, that you can keep, doing things with. That's something that you focused a little bit on. You said makeup's the main thing, but you also do hair.
Yeah.
Did you have to go through any training for that? Like barber
did.
school, you did all that as well too.
Not barber school, but I went to stylists. So they
Okay.
taught me how to style hair.
Wow. So you can do damn near everything, right? I mean, you can just.
But I'm trying to get into that era where I'm like less working and
Yeah.
bringing in more money.
Right.
Don't
we all?
I feel like free time is so important to me, and having time for my kids and time for my dogs is like so important to me.
Yeah.
I used to work nonstop. I took on everyone. Then I was just like so burnt out.
Yeah.
So now I'm like going into the season of, okay, I
Yeah.
need to figure out what else to do to make my job less.
So what are you envisioning, like, in the next 10 years? Is it salon? Obviously, you're jumped into that. Do you want to get out of weddings, or do you want to train people under you?
I would eventually like to train people under me and have them go and do brides for me, because that would be nice to have some free weekends.
And there's a big enough margin from what you're telling me, if you can split that even like 50-50, that'd be a
Yeah.
big split, but even half and not have to do it. But the problem is, if you're going to train some girl to do it, the first thing what are you going to do if you're in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
I want the 50%.
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm doing it by myself. Why do I need
Exactly.
Angelica to teach me? But that's the hard part. It's like, you want to empower them, right?
Yeah.
But then you want to have some, I don't know, financial kickback to you, right? If you're teaching them all this, and that's the tough part. I don't know how you do that. But I think the salon, that's the best, like the Botox, the lasering, and then just create a business model.
I feel like people like that. I want them to bring their bridal party there and have like, you know, parties, or I want to make it into even like a session where you bring your girls and we learn makeup. You know, I want to make it more of a teaching place rather than.
Like you said, like an academy.
Yeah, academy.
Or do it,
No, that sounds like a great idea, having sort of like tutorials, you know, like, hey, group tutorial, come on in, we'll do our thing. But yeah, no, this sounds like you're doing the right things. You care about this. This is something you enjoy doing. So
I do.
Yeah, keep doing it. Like, I also wonder too, like, have you ever had a bridesmaid that you've taken care of that's come back again to be a bride for you?
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And that's what I'm thinking is like, even if you do branch out, you have these other people, it's still going to be, well, I met you through Angelica kind of thing, right? So, I mean, like you say, you're not worried about competition. That's not an issue, really. I think it's just going to make things better. And more often than not, someone might branch off from you, get some people, but then eventually they might get burnt out, and then you get those people coming right back to you. So, that sounds fascinating. I love like the idea of, you know, having these classes and things that you're already thinking about doing. So that's cool. And then like marketing, like you say, would be part of it too. Like how do you think you would go about doing that? How would you teach marketing to people there?
Teaching people how to start pages, how to run ads, how to create reels, videos. I think that those are really important. The lighting. I feel like
could use help
a
with
lot
that,
of
trust
time.
me.
Yeah, people like the way that I take pictures on my clients because you can. Wow, you take great pictures. Show me how to do that. So, you know, stuff like that. That's going to help build their portfolio, their clientele. I feel like pictures, videos is so important, you know, as a makeup artist.
Are you running ads right now on Instagram for your business?
No, but I just started. So I'm actually working with my girl right now. She's actually messaging me.
Got to have a name before you can run ads, though, right?
I know. No, well, it's going to be running through my Instagram.
So you have the name, you just aren't releasing it yet.
No, well, through my Instagram, because I can run ads through there. Because you have to have so many followers.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I mean, you can make a lot of money off advertising. You just have to scale up. But we had a guy on here, the Brian Nabavi, the TYC guy, and I don't remember the number amount, but I think he's up to like $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month.
Amazing.
But it's bringing in, you know, you started lower and then you just scale up. So I think with your business, you know, if you're bringing in 2,000-3,000, then a lot of people get greedy with marketing, and all you got to do is, as long as you're breaking even, you know, you're still marketing, you're still, like, for example, if you spend $5,000 a month on ads and you bring in $5,000 in revenue, it's worth it. You're breaking even, but your name's getting out there, and then you got to find that sweet spot of, okay, I'm spending $5,000, but I'm only making X amount. But that's such a big part of business. But I think what you should do is create that model and franchise. That's you have to create a model for this to be successful. But then you can have a girl be like, hey, you know, we have a San Diego location open. Obviously you have a San Diego location because you only have one, but you know how to BS it a little bit to where you know, it's a thing. But that is something that you can make passive income, and I think that's what you want with the time.
Yeah.
You know, if you can make 5% off the top of a store in San Diego, but it's worthwhile because you're teaching them everything.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going to be making a killing, and 5%, that's definitely worth it, or something like that.
Yeah. You brought up your pups earlier, right? How many puppies you got?
I have 3.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've met your dogs before.
No, well, you've met Lulu, the
Lulu.
little Yorkie.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, Lulu's the best.
Then we added in 2 English bulldogs
Oh,
during
fun.
COVID. So
I love
they're,
bulldogs.
they're amazing.
I love any dog with a smushy face, like pugs, bulldogs, boxers. Bring them to me. I just love you know, all the little noises
But
they
it's
make.
tough. They don't live long, though. That's the thing that's...
Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear. They're living. They're gonna live long.
They do have a lot of complications with the breathing, with
They
the folds,
do.
but you know.
I know.
And then just bulldogs in general aren't very active. They aren't
No,
very...
they're not.
But they're funny. Like I've never seen a dog that like has such good balance. Like anytime you see a dog riding a skateboard, it's a bulldog. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how they do that. Like they seem so uncoordinated on their feet. But then you get them on a skateboard and they can handle it. Like I can't handle being on a skateboard. Let alone.
I can't ride a skateboard.
No, and I think it's so funny. But so are these your first bulldogs that you've ever had? What's that like? I mean, is that a brand new thing for you? Like learning some new things? I'm sure they're chewing a lot more than you're used to.
We always end up talking about dogs.
I know.
Yes, it has to.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the podcast.
Every Wednesday, I make sure that it's my dog day. Like it's just for my dogs, whether it's laying down, taking them to the park, going to go play with them. Like I make sure Wednesdays are their days, and because I feel like I do juggle a lot with my kids, sports, makeup, all that.
Pets do take a backseat a lot of the time.
They do. So,
not in this house, but
of course not. But my dogs, they're great. I mean, my bulldogs, they are so hard to clean sometimes because they have a lot of wrinkles, but they get, some grooming sessions, which is tomorrow.
That's awesome. Now, I love bulldogs. Like I say, I think they're just hilarious. I don't know how you could look at one without cracking up. You know what I mean? Like just their face and like the way they breathe and just everything. They're a little round. They're basically a stomach with a head. Like there's really nothing else going on there, but...
And speaking of dogs, we're dedicating this episode to Andre Feely. Just lost his dog today, Harley, and he was the cutest little man. So we want to give a shout out to Andre Feely and his girlfriend Melissa. It's the worst because it's like I was just talking to him before this. Like if a family member dies or like an uncle or a dad, I'm like it's sad, but man, it hits home when it's like a dog because. I don't know. My two boys are, they're my kids, but man, I feel so. Like my mom asked me the other day. She's like, if a human got run over, a dog got run over, what hurt you the most? I'm like the dog. The human probably sucks.
Yeah, the human's stupid. What are you doing in the middle of the road, idiot? Like get out of there.
But yeah, that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Is losing, they're turning 12. So,
wow.
But yeah.
Dude, you just brought this up. I almost hit a cat today in the middle of the street. Like, the cat's going like this and then my car's coming up. He just stopped. I was like, what are you doing? And like, I drove up next to him, like, what are you doing? He looked at me like I thought he was going to jump in the car. I'm like, what are you doing out here? Get out of the road. You're a cat. Like they are the quickest, most nimblest animal. And this guy's like, dude, you're going to get hit by anything coming by here. What are you doing? But yeah, that's the thing. Like, and that would, oh my God, I'd be devastated if something like that happened to one of my pets, something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole other thing too. When you take on pets, you take on responsibilities and you take on all these things, but it's so worth it because of the love they give back to you and all that good stuff.
Our dogs are family for sure.
Do you ever bring Lulu to any of the weddings?
I brought her once. They know about her.
Yeah. They wanted to see her. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're going to wrap this up. We appreciate you coming on, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
You've come a long way from Mac to now you have your own salon. So how can people find out about the salon, or you still can't say that we're really pushing to get this name out there?
I know.
So the third time.
You can follow me on Instagram, Angelica Marie M, and then you can either book an appointment through there or so all of my bookings right now are by appointment only. Okay. And then, I try to make some time to be at the salon as much as I can.
And how booked out are you?
So I book out about a year in advance, but it just ranges because there's some brides that I have booked up. Like March is actually fully booked, but they come in little waves. So
get ready for the 2 bees in a pod bump. Yeah. Once people get this out here, you're gonna get flooded with calls. All right, it's happening.
We want 5%,
and it'll just be me pretending to be women calling you.
All right, thank you, Angelica.
Thank you.
Thank you.